Sometimes it's the time we spend with our nearest and dearest that's most precious to us, and that's what happens in this video when we go and camp on a summit that I've been hoping to camp on for years and years. Oh, hello, look at all the dust here, and yeah, welcome to another video. And I think in today's adventure, these are the videos, so hoping we're kicking too much ash into the camera. Anyway, these are the sort of videos I think I'll in the future look back on most fondly, and the reason for that will become apparent. We are heading to what I think is the most interesting peak in the area. It's a beautiful day. It was nice and clear, but you can see it's a bit hazy now, and the reason for that is I'll show you. There's a volcano going off, but I'll spin you around and show you where we're going just now. Oh, right. Oh, I've got ash in my eye. Oh, that's quite sore. Oh, there's a wee bit blowy, so all this burnt ground's kicking up a lot of ash. Anyway, oh, hopefully you can see in the middle of your picture, just over my shoulder, this big rounded lump. So we're going to head there. That's the Munro, but the peak that I'm talking about is beyond that, over the back. But for now, we're going to stop down here at this locker and get a bite to eat and a wee coffee. The time is 4:30, so let's go. Oh. Right, that's this. You can see down at the locker. I'm just going to stop. Have a wee sandwich, a wee bite to eat here, and a wee coffee, I think. Oh. The only thing about stopping and having a coffee is like a game of Jenga, trying to get everything back in the big backpack. But anyway, that was nice. That almost counts as tea or dinner. There'll be a second tea or dinner in a wee while though, once we get to the location. But we're only about halfway there, and the hill we're going to, it gives you a great sense of remoteness area. It looks into an area which is quite wild and remote for Scottish standards anyway. So all will become clearer when I get there, hopefully, and you'll be able to see it for yourselves. But for now we need to get moving because we've still got quite a few kilometres to get. When I say we, it's me and Lewis, my son, if you're wondering, if you hadn't already guessed that. So right, more about that later. Right, let's get moving. Do we make a move? Let's go. After having a bite to eat and my coffee, we set off again, and it's really a nice walking country here. Nothing too steep, and we were headed up to this Munro, which is just ahead of us there. But that wasn't our final destination, we were going a bit further. Anyway, before long we were approaching the summit of said Munro. Here we are at the top, summit of the Munro. This is about 980 metre-ish, and I can see now where we're going, to the peak that I think is the nicest one in the area. We're getting a view. I've been up here a few times and very rarely have I seen anything, so I'm really looking forward to heading down here and showing you the views. There's still some wildfires burning away as well. Well, they're not wildfires, they're controlled fires, but yeah, it's like a tinderbox at the moment. So we'll maybe sit here for 10 minutes before going on. Shall we do that? We rest. There's a nice seat, got my name in it. Right here. With the weather being so nice and the wind starting to drop down, there was no rush. It was just lovely. Although we still had to get a bit further. In fact, you can see the summit there on the left that we were headed to. We knew we had plenty hours of daylight ahead of us, so we just loitered on the Munro top, or the Munro summit, and just took it all in. It was a fabulous afternoon, and it was actually feeling quite warm. But eventually we decided to get going and get to the spot where we'd hopefully find somewhere to pitch. We weren't quite sure if there was going to be enough room on the summit of the said mountain that we were heading to for 2 tents, because it's quite a small top, but there was only one way to find out, and yeah, we headed off in search for a summit pitch. Now, the winds are quite light, so the camera's actually sitting on the summit, and there's spots here, so we're going to get the tents up almost right in the summit, hopefully, for some nice views. Hopefully. We're not sure how good the ground is for the pegs, but there's lots of rocks that we can use, so let's get the tents up. I'll bring you back in a wee while. What do you think, Lou? Nice, eh? We set about getting the tents pitched on this small summit, and it was just lovely. We got just enough room to get both of the scarps up, and the weather was getting better and better. What an evening to be on the hill. Alright, just about completely set up, and we've managed to just fit both scarps right on the summit. The summit cairn is just there. It's lovely, quite comfortable, and the views are just amazing. I've been to this summit twice, and I think both times I didn't get much of a view. The first time it was mixed weather. The second time I came up from, I want to say Glen Taitnach down there. Anyway, and it was completely different weather to what it is now. I'll put some footage of that. It was rather wild. It certainly wasn't as serene and calm as it is now. It was a different world. Again, just shows you how fickle the conditions in Scotland can be. But it's these camps that I'll remember, and I'll tell you why later on. But although this isn't the highest, I think this sits above Munro. This must be a Munro top. I think it's probably higher than Cairnwell and Carnousda. But because there's not as much of a drop, it's not classified as a separate Munro, but who cares? It's just wild track country from here north. It's just lovely. So I'll bring you back later on and have a wee chat. For now, we're just going to chill in the tents. It's quite warm actually in the tents. We're quite early in the season. There's no beasties because of that, and it's just perfect. So bring you back in a wee while. What do you think, Lou? You enjoying it?
Yeah.
He's enjoying it. With the weather being so nice, we just took it easy and took in all those amazing views of the landscapes that surrounded us. Although not technically remote, it has a really remote feel about it, and there's lots of open space around this area, and lots of mountains. But it's lovely. The sun's starting to dip down. I think another 20 minutes, and it'll be over below the horizon. And this, where I'm pointing the camera now, I mean it's quite, there's not many, there's no civilization or roads much that way. I know we've come up the Glen Beg Road, which takes you up to the Glen Shee Ski Centre, and that's just over there. We did about 7.5 kilometres to get here. But in all other directions, if you go north from here, you'll maybe just go past Mar Lodge and the Lunadee, and that'll be about the only civilization in that direction. And then you've got the Cairngorms beyond that, and then if you go due west, you won't hit the A9 until the Drummuchtar Pass, and it's a big fast area, and you've got the Tarf Hills, the Drummuchtar Hills. It's wild country out this way, it really is. These mountains here, you've got Ben Luren Vor, I think, and Ben Luren Beg, Carnarai, Glasschulichan. Lovely walking country, really nice. I still think this is the nicest peak. It's just, I don't know what's caused it. It's like a wee castle. It would have been an ideal place for a hill fort. But yeah, let's wait for sunset. We've just been chilling in the tent. You can see I think they're looking quite nice. Just enough space for the two of them. But right, I'll bring you back as the sun goes down, hopefully. What a place. What a place. Oh. Right, just I set up a time lapse. The sun's just about to head down over the horizon, and the wind is dropping down, which is just lovely. It really is such a special night, and a special place. And the good thing about this, it's quiet. I think on some of the Munro summits, especially over towards the road, there'll be people coming and going, would have been such lovely weather. But anyway, I was going to say the reason why I think this is probably one of the videos that I'm more likely to come back and watch. I always say that I do these videos with an eye to the future when I'm old and grey and I can come back and watch them and show the grandkids what I did. But I think these ones, when I'm with family, are even more special, irrespective of what hill it is or the weather or what the situation. I think for myself, and certainly in the future, if you're looking at this in the future, hundreds of years looking back and wondering, you're more likely to come and watch one with your family, aren't you? But yeah, these ones are a little bit more special. It's always special. Camping, it's always special being with family and friends, but when you combine the two of them, it's lovely, especially when you get weather like this. So just going to sit and watch the sun go down and maybe get some astro shots of the stars come out to play. You never know, we might get aurora, although the moon's quite big at the moment. But right, take me shut up and watch this sunset. So we watched the sun go down and it was really quite nice, and I actually sat up for quite some time just outside the tent under the stars, and I set the camera up and caught some faint aurora before eventually hitting the hay. It was a lovely evening to be outside and on top of a mountain. Good morning, it is just past 6 o'clock, and I'll show you in a minute. I'll spin you around and show you outside. Sunrise is at about, 20 past 6 or something, so we'll be up for that. And I was really thinking that Lewis might have struggled to get up this morning, but I've woken up and there he is. He's got the tent nearly away. He's putting me to shame. Oh my God, I feel embarrassed. He's at it, so right, I better get up. I'm behind now, and Lewis will be waiting on me. So quick coffee and get the tent down. Let's go watch the sunrise. Having been embarrassed by Lewis being up so early and getting the tent down before I was awake, I got set about getting my tent down after watching the sunrise. But there was no rush, to be honest with you, because it was just such a nice morning, as you can see. Right, the camera's set up where the tents were. I had to do a lot of catching up. Lou was really on it this morning, couldn't believe it. But yeah, lovely camp. It's just gone 7 now, so we're ahead of schedule. We've got a 7 kilometre walk out, so it'll take us a couple of hours, but it's going to be a lovely walk back. I don't think I'm going to film too much of it, to be honest with you. I think you don't need to see us walking back to the car. And Lou's asked for a McDonald's, so we might have to treat ourselves or a bacon sandwich at Starbucks. We should be fine. But yeah, these are, as I said before, for the reasons I gave last night, these are the special ones for me anyway, personally. Right, I'm going to shut up. I'm going to end the video here. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for another one next week. Stay safe out there. Right, time to head down and get a cheeky wee McDonald's. Let's go.